Guys, top left corner, it's going to be Huck, Team EG, Raid Call, all that fun stuff, all their sponsors. Huck, man, currently going to be playing actually tonight in Code S. Got a pretty tough group, in my opinion. I believe one of the players gets to play as Numio. But he did make it into Code S off of playing against Terrans and Protoss players. He actually lost to Nesty, which was the only Zerg in his group coming into this. So, may have a bit of a small problem with Zerg, just a tad bit. Huck, whenever I watch him, I always feel like he's going some type of Dark Templar timing, or is really heavy on like Zealot Archon in some way. That's still, every time I see him, I know he plays tons of other games and he may have different formats, but that's what I always see from him. So Ostojiy needs to keep an eye out for that.
Ostojiy is going to be our purple Zerg down here in the bottom right. And as you were saying earlier, this is the semifinals. Looking at what people said as towards what we were going to win, Tim getting a response to people saying, you know, Huck, he's Code S, probably go out this, or Ostojiy, you know, he's breaking it through, man. He's getting better and better. Yeah,
we'll see what the plan is for him. I haven't seen Ostojiy play in forever, but again, he's just got pure solid skills. He's kind of Suppy-esque, just really strong player. Plays all the time on the ladder and does his thing. Sixlings are actually on the way. We went for an earlier pull here, so we're gonna have some aggression. But Huck, putting a pylon in his main, going straight into a gateway assimilator, should be more than prepared for this if he plays it safe.
Yeah, he definitely will be. One base is going to be really, really nice against this, like incredibly nice. This is ideal. Because actually, if you go for a forge, you're not walling this off, they will just run by, man.
I'm actually really curious as to why Huck went for a one base play here.
It's going to work out for him.
Yeah, it's just going to work out for him. So I wonder if something happened or if they just know each other in the matchups. Because again, I couldn't find VODs. I only found actual rounds to what happened to these guys. But Sixlings running across the middle of the map. Ostojiy will get the correct scout off. He'll be popping straight in there. Zealot already on the way. It's going to help out. He needs to tuck it in the mineral line here, do some mineral tricking a little bit. But again, Huck should be just fine with this with some micro.
Well, he's got, first of all, I like the pylon sitting over here over the assimilator. He can protect it with his probes. Nice micro from Huck. Loses one probe. Loses a second, a third, a fourth probe as well. So a little bit too much damage there. One of the things that I noticed is that he did not chrono boost his gateway. In fact, he started the Zealot but did not chrono.
Yeah, Huck feeling a little bit advantageous with his micro there. Used to be top 3 control. Still showing it here a little bit. Fast, do some micro, but still losing some probes. Ostojiy actually running a bit of a clank here for 6 lings for 5 probes. Oh, 7 probes? Jeez, I missed out on a couple of them. It's actually kind of worth the trade there. Been joining up behind this, followed up into a gas at the same time.
And he's coming back in for one more now, but you know, there's only 3 lings, they're pretty beat up. The Stalker's going to make it extra easy for those to be cleaned up. And 1 ling will escape, so they'll be able to do some Zelnaga holding for a moment or 2 here. Really just a second or 2, because there's already units coming to claim it.
Stalker on the way, and on one base, actually, Zealot Stalker is really strong to head to your opponent, because they have to drone or they have to get out lings. And with some micro, you can kind of beat down those lings, slam your Zealot against the wall, and then just create more lings, and it puts them actually farther behind than they want to go. So this is actually really smart from Huck to counterattack with these couple of units here. And also will slow down an expansion from Ostojiy.
This is actually super convenient for Ostojiy as well. You know, he's going, or for Huck, excuse me, because Ostojiy has very much invested into preventing any one-base damage. From coming from Huck. You know, he's like, oh, I know you're going to have super fast warp gate. You can 4-gate me, you can 3-gate me. And so he's gathered this gas and stayed on just 1 hatchery so he can clean it up. Drone does get taken out, by the way, here by this Zealot. We'll see if he can manage to actually take out a second one as lings are chasing away the Stalker. Zealot's going to go down, in fact, and that Stalker will manage to escape from these lings. But what I was saying, Huck, you know, it doesn't actually look like he's going for a big one-base attack. His gateways are super late for that.
Well, if he gets a pylon down here in the bottom right corner, which it looks like he might be going for. There we go, 4 gates. So yeah, just going straight up into a 4-gate. Man, I feel like I'm watching the first month of StarCraft all over again, but just the builds are working out for each other to go this route. I mean, one base play from Ostojiy kind of warrants Huck to go for a 4-gate pressure. I mean, he'll be able to keep the pressure and prevent his opponent at least from getting a hatchery so he can go for his own expansion. But it's really important these lings should not be scouting these 4 gates, and with him actually leading him straight into the main, he is going to see it.
Yep, he sees all 4 gateways now. And from here, well, will Huck cancel a gateway? He's probably honestly just going to continue with it, because here's the reality. Ostojiy, man, he only has 1 hatchery. He can only make this many units. And you know how many Zerglings that is? Not many. It's like 8 Zerglings. He has no Roach Warren. Ostojiy, simply put, is not going to be able to spend the amount of money that he's bringing in off just 1 hatchery.
Zealots do charge in. They're actually chasing around drones. They're rallied up, and it looks like Huck's kind of paying attention to something else. Finally gets on top of the drones, but that was some nice microing there from Ostojiy to save those. It's a weird mistake from him. And so now Huck's forced to kind of just turtle up at home, because his pylon's going to be cleaned up with these lings, and finally we can have Ostojiy go for an expansion. Sentries are on the way as well. Huck will have the availability here to prevent anything from happening off this one base, but I'd really like for our opponents or our players to go into an expansion at some point. This one base play, there we go. We'll get tiresome for both of them.
All right, and Huck moving down for an expansion as well. That probe protected right now by the sentries and stalkers. We'll be dropping a pylon, and this is just like classic 3-gate expand, except with a 4th gateway, but you know, it just slows things down a little bit here. It's, you know, when you say a 4-gate all is an all-in, it's the action of going for the 4-gate. It's not making the 4th gateway that makes it all in. The gateway only costs 150 minerals. It slows you down, but it doesn't put you out of the game. What puts you out of the game when you 4-gate, you know, if you don't succeed, is all the units that you make and the single gas that you typically take. Note that Huck has 2. So, by no means did he all in with this 4-gate, and he's going to be able to transition out of this, but Ostojiy is going to have to double expand here.
Yeah, nice play there. Yeah, you have to stick an expansion up with it, especially knowing his opponent was going for an expansion as well. Just go ahead and draw on the 3rd. You shouldn't have much aggression on your way as long as you keep these Nagas covered. I would like for him to send a couple of those lings because he's actually got a lot breaking down those rocks. You have a few that are just kind of fluttering around. Have them rotating around the map. Get that left side watch, that right side watch. Just keep vision on the map so you don't have anything sneaky maybe coming your way, because maybe Huck cancels that, goes for a 5th gateway, and just gets in your face.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, holding the Xel'Naga is not enough. There are side hallways here, so having a link patrolling here and a link patrolling over here would not be a bad idea. He'd actually see this probe moving out right now. Huck, well, I actually want to talk about this upgrade real quick from Ostojiy. He's going for the +1 melee, and this is super interesting. You know, Protoss tend to research weapon upgrades, as we should be seeing here from the Forge in just a moment. There it is. If you have lings in your composition, you most often want to go for carapace. It counters the 2-shotting that the Zealots with +1 will be doing. In this situation, he's gone for +1. Is Ostojiy going to go for some sort of an attack here?
Yeah, I mean, he could go for Banelings. I know that +1 attack's pretty nice with that as well. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you mentioned, you don't go for the carapace. But again, Ostojiy may be out of the loop a little bit in terms of what's been happening the last couple of months, because of the studying could explain maybe the one base play overall. But forward pylons are now going down for Huck, so he will be getting aggressive very soon. Got some units sitting outside the natural ramp, just queuing them up. He does have the 4 gates. With having an extra natural, he can go ahead and start getting a few more out of the composition. Loves his gateway play, man. It's something that he does. Seems to excel at. First 4 Zealots have been queued off, and we're going to be having the aggression now starting to pop out.
No, he doesn't have +1 quite yet, but there aren't that many lings. In fact, they're all on this side of the map. Has he seen them? Nope. He has not. Lings are actually scattering to the sides of the map, which we really, really like. We were talking about that earlier. And I was going to check for any hidden expansions. That's super responsible here from Ostojiy. But here come the Zealots, and actually sentries as well. Oh no, this expansion is not longed for this world.
Yeah, he's kept him there as well, so he can throw force fells down on the ramp if need be. The Queen's trying to get out of there just in time. Lings are going to pop in right away. There goes the force field. It's a bit late there from Huck. He will lose 1 sentry, but does get 4 of them down. He's just going to go and focus down this hatchery, doing so to the best of his ability. Did the +1 finish up? +1 did finish. At the same time, bringing his units up to the natural to go ahead and push the middle of the ramp, and he's got a lot of gateway units here, a lot of Zealots as well.
Yeah, and Ostojiy is still, you know, suffering from the consequences of being on one base for so long. He does have a larger economy right now with 45 workers to 32. He's got a lot of roaches about to spawn, but a force field on the ramp is going to trap tons of them in the main base. This natural just in so much trouble right now. Zealots tearing apart the mineral line. Additional reinforcements coming in for Huck. +1 is complete. It's all about the roaches right now for Ostojiy, but he can't get them down the ramp.
Well, the 3rd was killed off at the same time, so Ostojiy effectively stuck on 2 base, losing all of his drones as well. Zealots, a few of them are focusing down this hatchery. Force field after force field after force field. These roaches just cannot get through. They are going to get some free shots on top of these Zealots, though, as they do walk by. But Ostojiy is forced to GG. What a weird game, but works out. Huck takes the game 1-0 now.
Well, he starts off pretty nice here in the set. Very awkward game between both those players.
Yeah.
I felt like I was casting Warcraft 3 or something.
Yeah, I felt like I mean, they've hit each other a few times, as mentioned, and maybe they just felt like there's a lot of one-base play that happened between each other, so they just go with like super weird, obscure builds.
Yeah.
I actually was kind of curious of what pull that was. I think it was a 7 pull. It felt like it with the timing, but again, just really, really awkward. And a 7 pull is really good against a forward fast expand, and maybe he's done that before on Huck, and so that was the plan, and that was what was happening.
Like, I'm gonna one base this.
Yeah, it just
worked out for him.
Really weird, but yeah. Ostojiy probably walked in and was like, wait, what? What are you doing, man? All right, guys. We're going to get ready for game number 2, Huck versus Ostojiy. But before we jump in, we're going to be having the daily news for you, presented by Kibbles.
Yay! Here we go.
Hello, folks. This is Kibbles with your daily news for January 23rd, 2013. GSL Code S Group B went down last night, and guys, I'm happy to announce the boss toss himself is back, 4-0ing his group with ease. Curious made it out of the group as well with a score of 2-1. Lenok and TY, also known as Baby, have been knocked out. Tonight on the GSL, we have one of our foreigner hopes hitting the stage. Huck will be attempting to climb to the top of Group C. Group C features also Bomber, Gumiho, and last season's Code S winner, Sniper. It will be a tough group, but we here at the IPL wish Huck the best of luck. Huck, fighting! In our IPTL Premier Division, Prime gave StarTail their first loss in Group A with a strong performance from Maru. The win was not enough though, as StarTail and EG will be taking the Group A, while FX Open and Prime will fall to the up and downs. Make sure you tune in tonight at 4 PST as Robin and myself will be bringing you the IPL 6 NA Qualifiers. First place gets an all expenses paid trip to IPL 6 in Vegas. The players being showcased tonight are Masan, Ostojiy, Huck, and Scarlet. It's going to be a good one. If you need something to hold you off until then, though, check out the TL Attack featuring Naniwa, hosted by In Control and Cats. Make sure to check out all our content over at IGN.com/IPL. I'm Kibbles, and we're out.